Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Rave with Mara podcast. On the show today, I have a very wonderful guest, as you can see. I will be discussing something very interesting. I'm talking about discoloration in people. I know it sounds like, what's this lady trying to say this time around? But it's not something big. We're talking about bleaching. And we're going to be talking about that based off of skincare and how that has sort of put a lot of pressure on people to start using them.
Right.
But before we would introduce our guest and get into that conversation, we'll go on a short break. So please stay tuned. Welcome back. I remain Maranatha Abutu, your host and producer of Rave with Mara podcast. And today we have this wonderful guest. Would you do us the honors of introducing yourself?
Hi, everybody. My name is Prince John Onyeme, a.k.a. Prince Hales.
Okay.
I'm a voiceover artist, so every other person calls me Voice of Hales. And I'm super excited to be here.
Thank you. We are so happy that you honored the invitation to be here. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so he said he's a voiceover artist, and I know him as a customer care rep. So how did that transition happen?
Okay, that's a good question. So I think that, being honest, right?
Yes.
If you studied biochemistry like I did, and then you graduate and you're looking for a job.
Right.
And you're trying to get a job. And you're telling everybody that, it doesn't matter, let me just get the experience.
Yeah.
And you try to work in a hospital and they tell you that, oh no, there's a new rule that we only have medical biochemists, not biochemists.
What does that mean?
You need to have studied medical biochemistry to work in the hospital, not just biochemistry.
Oh.
So then you go to a lab or something and they tell you the same gist. Oh, there's a new rule that, you know what, you can only work in like a brewery and you need like some long leg to do that. And I ended up teaching in a school.
Okay.
Let me know if the story is too long.
No, keep going.
I ended up teaching in a school. So I started teaching biology.
Okay.
And I was supposed to teach just SS1. Somehow I became SS1, SS2, SS3.
With the workload.
And then they reached out to me one day to say that, because I still go to Living Faith when I go home.
Okay.
So I was going to Living Faith at the time. So they reached out to me and like, you are Oyedepo's son. You people know Jesus. People don't know the Bible. But our CRS teacher is no longer clinical. I should come and take CRS as well. So that's how.
Were they going to be paying you more?
Excuse me, ma.
Okay. I should have asked because I know this is Nigeria.
Excuse me, ma. My salary was 20,000 naira.
Oh Lord.
And summary of it is I ended up teaching 7 subjects. That means I was making 7 lesson notes every week.
Oh
and
my
I was
God.
a class teacher to the most populated class. And so I go to class every day and I'm telling myself, I'm going to give minimum. I'm going to give less than 100. Okay. I go to that class and I'm giving 120%.
Because it's your person.
150.
It's your person.
Then I think one day, one of my seniors, Senior Shay, shout out to you, he called me and he was like, Shay, you used to speak English there in school. Because normally it's not normal English where you just speak normally. Yeah. And people think that you're forming or you're doing too much and all that. Right. But you're just having conversation.
Yeah.
And so she used to speak English there. Come and apply for this stuff. So he's forwarded me a link and I applied. Next day they called me and that's how the journey just started. So pretty much that's how I got into customer service. Okay. And after a couple of years, maybe 1 or 2, I became a trainer. So pretty much training every other person in the team. And because I've always loved the whole jingle feel, the whole radio feel, the whole presenting feel. I've always like people who don't know that I studied science see me for the first time and think that, oh, you must have studied art.
Or mass communication. I get that too.
And all that.
Yeah.
I'm like, nah. They're like, but you're really good. I'm like, oh. So I just decided to, like, just normal speaking to people. Someone like, can you do this voiceover for me? So I'm like, okay. Since this has been happening, can you take this citation for me? And since it has been happening like over the period, I'm like, okay, let me be intentional and actually put the work. Even if, let's say I have the inert skill, but let me learn and do better. And pretty much that's how the journey started for me. That's how we got here.
Wow.
Yeah.
So has that been lucrative enough for you?
Ooh.
So do you get money?
Do I get money?
Yes.
Answer is yes. Lucrative. We're getting there. I think
okay.
we're building. I'm building on it.
Okay.
We're getting the right people to see us.
Okay.
Because I think one of the challenges will be friends.
Right.
So
friends always want free.
Friends would either want free or not help promote your business, and you cannot entirely blame them because they have their own life and their whole.
It doesn't.
I mean, it doesn't help. It doesn't
yes.
cost too much. Just repost.
Yes.
Repost, man. Repost. How can you're in an organization and then they're shooting a video and the video is just dry? You're just plain video that is dry. And you know I'm a voiceover artist and I'm just right here letting you know, bro, what's up? Alpha. And my rates are like super affordable. So we're getting to that point, but it's just me knowing that being intentional about the quality of work that I put out there.
Okay.
And I think that's what is getting me the clients that I'm getting now. So pretty much.
So I have seen your updates where you talk about going for trainings and so the motivation, because I know that is one thing to say, oh, I think I'm good in this and I would like to put in the work.
Right.
But now I know that the money is not coming in as you expect it to. So what keeps you going? What is that motivation that keeps you going?
Nice. So I'm someone who is intrinsically motivated.
Oh, okay.
So I want to better what I have. I want to just improve it.
So whatever is not worth doing is not worth doing well.
Yeah.
I like that.
And you get people, thank God you just said this.
I like that.
You get people who literally know that you're paying to learn the stuff. They'll come and meet you and like, it's not voiceover. I can talk to now.
Then do it.
Just show me how you do it. If you know how,
why are you talking to me?
Why are you talking to me?
No,
just show me how. It's not ordinary. How can I be charging this? It's not ordinary. It's not ordinary talk. You're literally in my DM for ordinary talk. Yeah, just tell me how you do. Excuse me. How I do it? Go for training, man. Go for training.
Okay, so you heard from him. He's a voiceover artist and he's on Instagram. Voice of Heels. There's no underscore, there's no apostrophe, there's nothing. It's just Voice of Heels.
Right.
His rate is very, very affordable. So if you need him to, and if you go to his Instagram, you see some of the work he has done. They are very amazing. Even when I didn't know that you were taking trainings, I always used to be like, wow, this guy is really onto something. He's onto something here. So if you need voicing for anything at all, you can do it.
Right.
Pidgin or
Igbo.
Don't mind that he's speaking his broken English is very good. He speaks broken English. So whatever he says, just reach out to him.
Right.
Again, thank you for that introduction and thank you for putting out your amazing work because it's not easy to put out work.
You're doing great as well.
Thank you very much. Now, we'll get into the topic proper. So I had said that we're talking about discoloration and I know it sounds like, why would you call people discolored? But before we let him talk about his experience, because a couple of weeks ago, he had put out a statement or some statements in his status where he was complaining, he was lamenting about an experience he had. But before we talk about that, I wanted to talk a bit about skincare.
Right.
I know that organic became a thing in Nigeria, maybe from 2016 downwards, because I remember that I was still in uni when my friend had come to tell me, I don't like how your face is not glowing. You know, that's how it starts.
Yep.
That's how it starts. Your face is not glowing as it should be. Why not try this thing? I'm using this soap. It started from a soap. You know, I'm using this soap. And I would always complain, oh, my skin is very sensitive. My mom used to give us, you know, all those black soaps our mom used to use back in the days? They were normal, right? Now, I remember that whenever I use my mom's soap, I would itch. And she would tell me, oh, no, don't use it. It's because they use ash.
Right, they do.
And it's just, they don't add anything else to it. But with this, they're organic. If you use it, it doesn't just itch you. When you use it the first day, you already notice that your face is smoother. There's no that. I don't know how, like a just silky feeling. Yes. And you're like, what kind of product works just after one use?
Right.
But, you know, when school, everybody wanted to feel, oh, okay, fine, let's use. And it wasn't a lot until 2019. Now, if you have seen my dad or my mom or my brother, I have an immediate younger brother and our last born, they are very light-skinned. So in 2016, 2017, we lost our grandmom. So we traveled for a burial. you know, all of those people that saw you when you were really young, and they were like, yeah. And then I went home. I was supposed to be in uni, a fresh girl, fresh babe. So I went, and then my cousins, my older cousins now, were like, Queen, what's happening now? You're getting dark, oh. Now, I got so worked up about it, I had to tell my mom about it. Like, I was so worked up, because they kept going, you used to be very light-skinned. Your little people are not dark in your home now. So why are you dark? Why? I said, you mean I'm dark like this? They said, yes.
And you're looking at yourself.
I'm looking at myself like, what do you mean? I know I'm not fair. I'm not light-skinned, but I know that I'm not dark in the sense of dark. And she went on and on how, no, you need to take care of yourself. You're a young lady. And if you listen to the advice as a whole, you would not see anything wrong with it.
Right.
Until you start to dissect. Because they were looking out for me. This is a young person coming up. You are supposed to look good. Men would start to notice you more when you start to look good and whatnot. And when I talked to my mom, after the burial, we came back to Abuja, and I told my mom that, do you know your sister's, children said this to me? And she said, but they're actually black. And I said, okay, I didn't even think about that. So I realized, okay, wait, people who would sometimes tell you are dark, or, oh, this is not how you used to be, are people who are not even light-skinned. Now, you begin to wonder, is it that they love themselves so much that they know that the advice they are giving you, what they're telling you to go and do, they can't do it for themselves? Is that it? And now, in 2019, when we started to work together, I started to say, okay, fine, let me start buying, organic and whatnot. Okay. And then I got my first organic. And these things are not cheaper. The salary I was earning then was, at least better than the 20K. But it was nothing to write home about.
Received, felt acknowledged. Proceed.
It was nothing, honestly. But it was something to go by, right? So we needed a job, right? And Nigeria is not a place where you finish school and there's a job readily waiting for you. And then you're
chilling at home.
Exactly. Yeah. So whatever job that comes, take it, right? And then you buy skincare. Maybe they'll tell you to buy soap. You have to buy glue oil. You have to buy night oil. You have to buy cream and whatever.
You do face scrub?
Oh, Lord, my father. I would use a face scrub and my face would start heating up. And so I invested in skincare 2019, 2020. And I started to realize that the moment one of those things finishes, your skin goes a bit darker than you originally were. Now, what I didn't realize was that this is not to say it applies to all persons or companies who produce skincare products. We have realized that there are several skincare products that they include hydroquinone in it. Now, a friend of mine asked me this 2 weeks ago. When I started to complain again that I was having a rash, she said, you stopped doing skincare. I think you should go back on this. And she recommended Simple. I just started trying it out, you guys. If I'm doing the wrong thing, please tell me now. Because I had said that I would no longer buy anything from anybody who is doing skincare. If it is not in a store that I can see the ingredients that are written on it, I am not buying. So she got Simple, the face cream, and the cleanser. And then somebody else was even telling me the thing burnt her face. So I put a pause on that as well. But now, what some of these skincare people do is that they would have maybe shea butter, which is like the base. Okay. It is neutral, right? Then they would buy tubes. Is it that they are buying Visitor Plus?
From Back A.
Yes, from Back A. There's this other one.
Skinel.
Bio something, Bio Clear, Sinclair, all of those clear thingy. Okay. And mix them up.
Into the shea butter.
Yes.
And
sell it.
Oh, wow.
So that's what most of them do. Now, when I started to notice that, so for every time, now, it wasn't bleaching me, but you know that your skin tone changes a little. Okay. And then you're like, okay, this is not bleaching, right? And then the moment it's toning. So I now realized that one time, I did not have money. Because I had several family engagements. So as my salary was coming in, I sent money home. I didn't have money to buy new products. And I realized that I got darker than I was. So I started to dig further. And I said, if you ask them, I I texted that lady. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to say that you're doing something bad or anything, but I just want to know what the contents of this stuff are. And she said, what's going on? So they would always be evasive. They would never tell you. They would be like, no, it's just normal organic. Okay, organic. It has name, right? There's turmeric, there's carrot oil. What exactly did you mix in this?
Right.
And they'll tell you, oh, if it's that you're getting darker, they already have the responses for everything. I think you just need to scrub. My skin is very soft. What am I scrubbing? There is nothing. What am I scrubbing? You know, and she would go on and on how, I think one time I said my body was itching me. Right. And she said I should mix palm oil and something. And I said, then I should be using natural stuff. If you're telling me your stuff is natural, why am I getting reactions? And then you're telling me to go back and use palm oil. One of my close friends went on to work for a skincare brand. I'm not going to mention their name. And she came one day and said, Queen, you were right. Oh. I said, how do you mean? She said, no wonder my boss never allows us to mix this thing. I saw her by mistake. I said, what do you mean by mistake? She sent me to get something for her. On my way in, I saw her mixing those tubes into the cream. Now, when my friend was asking me 2 weeks ago, why do you have a problem with hydroquinone? Is it a bad thing? Now, hydroquinone is not a bad thing. It is used to treat a skin condition. Okay. Again, listen, Okay. It is used to treat a skin condition, meaning if you have hyperpigmentation. You know these people that usually have sunburn, you know, you see that this place is darker. Yeah, especially or your face. Yes, your face is darker. That can be recommended to you. But to add, because what it does is it lightens the area. But this is usually used to treat a condition. Okay. Not to be applied as an everyday stuff. Morning and night. Because the moment you stop using any product that contains hydroquinone, it darkens your skin. So, and that's what causes all those discoloration that you see in people. So now, you tell us your own story, and then I would ask you further questions on probably why, is it that people don't know, or they know, but let's hear his story first. And then we'll get to the question part.
So for me, I'd say that anyone who wants to go into skincare should probably see a dermatologist or a cosmetologist, whatever, dermatologist, to have proper information. But I already have like a natural bias. So I'm just going to spill it here.
And I hear that some people do have that. And the rest of us have to struggle and suffer.
I already have it. Maya, touch my palm. Oh my goodness, God. So in my family, we're 4 siblings, right? Okay. And everybody, there's nobody I would say is dark skin, although we're all dark skin. But I wouldn't say anybody's like dark skin in the family, like in the entire family, even to like my uncles from my mother's side and my father's side. What I can point out is from my dad's side, one of his siblings is extremely fair to the eyes. In fact, so many people don't even call him his name, we call him Uncle Ibo.
They call my dad Yellow.
Then on my mom's side, she also had a sibling that was fair, extremely fair. So here we are, 4 kids. The first two of my siblings are extremely fair.
Yeah, I know your sisters.
Extremely fair.
Yes.
Then me and our last born were like this.
So it's me now that I'm dark. that's you dark in your family.
I am the last born. Okay. We are the dark ones.
Yes.
9th words. Well, obviously we're not that dark, but we're the dark ones. And you know that when you're growing up, you don't really see color. You don't. So it's like guests who come to the house and they're like, you don't. If you call me Amechi, that means you knew me when I was like this.
Oh, okay.
So they were like, Amechi, yeah, your sister don't fair pass you. You were saying at this secondary school, at this school, do you understand? And that's when you start knowing that, we're like different shades. It really impacts the way other people see us. Yeah. It really impacts the way I remember walking with my sisters one day and somebody was asking me, I say Mama Bono now.
My neighbor asked me, I think last time she was here, in April.
Mhm.
So she went out to pour my generator, and then I went outside. She's like, Vanessa, just your friend is really fair. I said, no, that's not. Like, even me, I was like, so what are you trying to do now? I should start feeling bad that what? Like,
my sister is fair.
Yes,
so I should just feel bad because I'm not that
yes.
fair. Pressure me, or society pressure me. I will go and enter. I'll hypo my body.
Yes, that's what you want.
So people say that like, are you people the same?
Yeah,
are you sure people
and it's weird.
And my family is cool. I have a friend. She has, from all her siblings, at least my own were two.
Okay.
This girl is not just that, she's ebony. And the other of her siblings are extremely fair.
Ooh.
Very fair. So if I'm getting, are you people related? Are you people the same guy? I wonder what she's getting.
Yeah.
And the natural bias that I have is I have really oily skin, and 2 seconds I don't sweat. So I can't even rub cream. I can't do nothing. By myself, there's no point. Skincare people, you guys are doing good. I appreciate your work. The toy I used to clean my leg is the one I used to clean my face. So there's no 2 different towels. There's no 2 different towels.
You look at my face.
I'm so sorry, ma. There's no 2 different towels. It's the same
if
one
I do
towel.
that, I'll wake up with a pimple.
Maybe I will wash it. Honestly,
I hear that he has that bias.
I don't know when I wash it. Do you know that my skin is so soft that I essentially started walking barefoot just to get my feet hard. You see how people say their leg cracked during Hammer-time?
Yeah,
I have
you
never,
don't have that.
ever experienced. I'm blessed. I know that if I put the effort, maybe my skin will pop, tone, glow, whatever. But please just give me any soap. I said, just buy finish, you don't finish. That's all.
Okay. So you asked one gist.
Hey.
Yes. The gist of the woman you wanted to get sachet water from. Yes.
I'd gone to my friend's church.
Okay.
We had a couple of activities for, it was a busy week.
Okay.
So I'd gone to my friend's church and I was thirsty. So while they were like getting people to sit in and blah, 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 I stepped out. For me, church is something I look out for. If I go to a new area, I'm looking out for, okay, what church can I worship?
Right.
Where is that? Even if I'm just there for a brief period of time.
Okay.
It's not like I'm overly religious or overly spiritual. It's church is my club, so to speak.
You like to be involved.
I like to be there, and I don't. When I'm in somebody's church for the first time, it's not like I'm there for the first time. It's just this is comfort.
Yeah.
So they were like trying to prepare. I was thirsty, so I went out to get water, and so I'm like, you know how they shade their stuff outside now, which is very good marketing strategy. So you see.
So you see what?
Yeah. So you shade their stuff. So I'm like, people want to get water. Say yes. They ask you hot or cold, hot like normal water.
Yeah.
And like, just give me hot, normal water. So the woman calls, at this point, I'm not seeing the woman I'm speaking with. So she calls out for her daughter to bring the water. And 1 sachet for 20 naira. So I give them the money. As I'm stretching my hand to get the water, I see the woman sitting down.
Sorry.
I promise I'm not. Let me look at the camera. I promise I am not body shaming anybody. I don't body shame. And I think this is like a thing. Like when you talk about people's body, people think you're trying to body shame. This is not body shaming in any way. This is disgust.
Right.
Took the water and I saw this woman. I didn't take the water. Like I knew it would be rude to return the water. So I just took it left and I threw the water away. I couldn't drink it because the woman was sitting down. She just had something covering her chest. She was tying one small wrapper like that, and she was sitting on the floor. And she was very fat. It's not the very fat is not the problem, but you know that kind of fat that your body's like, oh god, this is doing me like this. She was just, all her body was just on the ground. She was sitting down.
Okay.
And the stretch mark on her body. I know we're saying body positivity, we're saying stretch marks are sexy. This was not. It was like Abuja Express Road. Like it was like tire screed marks all over her body. As if that was not enough. She was like purple, red,
discolored.
Jesus, black. It was like how can a human being
look like that
and be a salesperson? Look like that and be in your house, don't come outside. How can you look like that and be a salesperson? You're literally sitting in front of your shop, selling to people, and you're not looking appealing. You're looking like something that can trigger someone's trust. It was, as I'm saying this, the picture is in my mind, and it's even worse. I'm trying to filter my words because it was so bad to see. I couldn't drink water. You see human being, you know, if you drink water.
I guess it.
It was bad.
I guess it.
It was bad. And I was just like, why?
Yeah. So it was from him lamenting about that situation that I remember that, I wanted to talk about this thing for a while. Besides my own experience of people sometimes looking at me and saying, are you sure this person is your sibling? Oh, wait, you have the same eye. Okay. You people are siblings. I was at a pharmacy one time. I had typhoid. And I was going to this doctor guy, to take injections. And while I was there, I think it was my last day. This lady was rushed in. Was it a lady? Okay, no. A lady rushed in. And she was shouting, doctor, please, is your nurse here? And he was like, no, my nurse have closed though. In short, I'm even going now for the chemist to come and take over. So the guy comes in once in a while to see patients and then leave. I'm assuming he has another job somewhere, right. And then he just opened I don't know.
Or maybe managing order.
Yeah. And so, you said, what's the problem? He said, somebody just had an accident. What happened? He said, he's outside, we cannot carry him. What happened? He fell from a bike, and then something on the bike tore his leg. And the way the leg opened, you will know that this is effects of bleaching. Now, because the guy couldn't keep quiet about it, that's the doctor guy now, he went, I thought it was even something serious. Like, the way he said it, I already saw that, he maybe had an encounter with this person and had maybe told the person off it. So when he went out of please, I'm coming. Mara, let me attend to you. So I was like, why are you like that? He said, no, this guy has been to my shop several times and I've told him to stop using what he's using. To the point that the only layer of skin was the last one. Person now, they say there's epidermis and whatever. His own is the last layer. Like, the melanin on the skin was gone. And this is a guy. This is not even a woman. This is a guy using bleaching creams. And if you don't know now, know today that another effect of this is that when you have a cut or an accident or whatever,
it takes hard.
Yes. And they can't sew it back. Because they can't sew it back, they're going to be looking for skin grafting for maybe your ass.
Gory. They're
going to be taking because your ass is maybe stronger flesh than the rest of your body. So please, I'm begging you guys. I'm not saying this applies to all the skincare people or whatever.
Right. And it's also important to note that when it comes to skincare, what works for Mr. A may not work for Mr.
I'm a living testimony of that.
It doesn't necessarily mean that it is bad.
Yes.
But you also have to be intentional
and do your due diligence, because people are mixing all sorts of things and saying,
let's talk about knuckles. Like,
ooh.
You not get
He said something that I wanted people to talk about before this knuckles thing, when you're talking about body positivity. Now, I don't know how many of you guys have seen Real Worry. I don't know what her video where she was talking about, I know that if you're fat, because when he was saying it, I know that some of you will be looking like, maybe not fat, she don't kill anybody. Now, and stretch marks, a lot of things can account for that.
Right.
If you used to be a bit big and you shrink, stretch mark. If you were skinny, you stretch, you go back, all of those things.
Pregnancy.
Yes, pregnancy. Women's body it goes through a lot of changes.
Man, now, if you're gymming.
Yes, that causes it as well. But the issue now becomes you have these hormonal changes that causes these issues. And you still have mind to be using bleaching cream. You don't like yourself. That's that. Now, on Real Worry, she did a video where she was explaining that she's been having issues reducing or losing weight for 5 years or more than 5 years, since 2017.
Okay.
And because body positivity has now become a thing of nobody is allowed to say anything about anybody's body.
Right.
And I agree, while I agree, please don't call me skinny. We're going to fight on the road. I will look for you. I will fight. But while we are not allowed to do something evilish about people's body, I think that as human beings, we need to look at ourselves and tell ourselves the truth.
And there should be room for some level of constructive
criticism. If I'm your friend and you find that there's something wrong from how I usually was, I should be able to allow you come tell me that, yo, babe, what's going on?
Right.
What's happening? This
Right.
is this intentional? Do you want to be this size? Or is it that do you need help?
You're good.
Are you fine? If that's okay, then good and fine. So if you want to be big, size 12, size 14, and you don't see anything wrong with it, that's fine. But the moment you go outside and you see a skinny person, don't come, because I have experience with them.
Like,
They'll come to my house. Yes, they'll come to my house. Look at the mirror, be like, Mara, I used to be like you. Are you sure you're eating at all? I'm not joking. Or they'll be like, So is it that they try to hide the fact that they want to reduce, or they body shame you into thinking they're in love with their current size?
The Lord bless you for this revelation. Because it is the truth. Half of the people who make I'm not coming for anybody, but half of the people who make skinny people look like they are too skinny, calling you all brooms, twigs, do you starve, blah, blah, blah. They're somewhat hiding the insecurity that they want
to go back to that size. Yes.
And it is what it is.
Yes.
And I appreciate fat people who are comfortable. I'm saying fat carefully because I'm not trying to judge you.
Yeah.
Who are comfortable with their body and have a sense of body awareness. Because that is what other people don't have. Because they're physically big, but in their mind they think they're thin. So you enter a vehicle with a fat person.
This reminds me of Ella. She always have this problem. Whenever she enters a vehicle, she always have this problem with people. Like, I'm not fat. Like,
be body aware. You are the one who is big.
And you are the one who is...
Be body aware. And you enter, you are sitting on my hip because you're big. And you're like, excuse me, are you paying for two? Are you paying for two?
God.
And just let's see that you have that consciousness that, oh, this is my size. I'm confident of it. The rest of us will adjust into it. But for you to now shove your extra space encroach into our space like you're entitled to it.
Be body aware. Nobody's trying to body shame you or anything. But I think it's just... I love this stupidity.
I'm big, oh. I'm not this.
Yeah.
This is beautiful. I'm not. I wish I was a little skinny. Honestly, I wish I was a little bit skinnier. And also, some people get skinny when they're stressed. Other people like me,
that's
stress they make us big.
Yes.
That Jesus, they make me shine. And he said, you wouldn't know if I don't tell you that, I'm going through XYZ, you would have no idea. If I don't tell you that I'm not eating all day, you will have no idea. Because you'll be like, your skin is skinny.
And people like us now, we eat 5 times a day.
If you know the show.
Do you get what I mean? So I really love that Real Worry girl put that out. And she told everybody that although people were trying to tell her to milk it and lie that she was using green tea and blah, 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 I love the fact that she came out and said the truth, how it is. If you're comfortable in your size, okay, good. But don't let anybody fool you into, go girl, go girl. The person that's telling you go girl is going to the gym and seeking ways to cut down.
And dieting.
So it's the same way, the person that is doing skincare and doing glow. Half the time, they don't use their own products. So please, let's be wise. Now, on the knuckle thingy, okay. So I had a friend who she has knuckle problem. Hers is from birth.
Okay.
So every time she goes out, and funny story, she's chocolate.
Okay.
She's not light-skinned or anything. Anytime she goes out, people always look at her hands and complain, why do you have dark knuckles? And she's like, I'm dark. What do you expect from me? Now, the people who are now bleaching, there's a difference between, and I think this lady, one of the daughter of Otedola, also have that problem.
Okay.
Half the time, anytime she posts stuff, people would go under her comments and say stuff like, you're from a rich home.
Why can't you
do something
about your knuckle?
And the baby is like, do something about your knuckle, like how? So I get that, like, some people, they born them like that. But more than half more than half is also from this same skincare problem. That's the easiest way to know that your skin has been rubbished. And because the way hydroquinone works, it would work. Now you see very fine knuckles and blah, blah, blah. After a while, when you stop using them, your knuckles go dark. It goes darker. Not dark. It goes darker than your original skin tone.
Even
now,
in the process, sorry to interrupt you, even in the process of it, it's obvious that like some portion of your body
something is happening
lighter and others are not, and it is not.
So
it's
is
not
it?
good.
I was going to ask that. Is it possible that there's a fair privilege? Do you believe in fair privilege? Not woman privilege. I know people
like beauty standard fair privilege.
Yes.
Well, it is a thing, but like because I have had experience modeling, I would say that what really stands out is a person's confidence. But it is a thing. There's a let me use modeling for instance.
Okay.
If I'm just going to call this celebrity's name. I'm not petting anybody against anybody.
Okay.
If someone like Nengi and Beverly Osu, these are two beautiful people.
Yes.
Nengi is fair,
absolutely.
Beverly is dark.
Dark.
If they wore the exact same dinner gown, and let's say in a beauty pageant, Nengi was number 9 and Beverly is number 10. If Nengi climbs the stage, it's going to take extra work for people to notice Beverly.
I see what you did there.
Not because they're not beautiful, not because...
But because people tend to gravitate
so
more
once,
towards
like, there's something about being fair, it just pulls...
It attracts.
Yes. So someone like Beverly on that stage has to do something extra to get the level of attention that someone like Nengi would get without so much trying. But if they were on two different platforms, they can both shine.
Okay, so do you...
So if someone like, if someone like Beverly came first before Nengi, so let's say Beverly is now number 9 and Nengi is number 10, they can both have their shine. But if someone like Nengi climbs the stage first before Nengi, before Beverly, there's a good chance they won't notice her. So there's how it is that it just pulls your attention into it. It pulls like how dark absorbs the light and somehow fairer things reflect it. So it's more eye-catching.
Okay.
But like I said, it's your confidence at the end of the day that really pulls that. It's confidence is a beauty factor that people underrate.
I agree. I agree. So would you say that sort of attraction that fair people
is a curse? It's not a blessing. It's a curse, especially if you're a lady, because then you cannot tell who really likes you.
Right. Right. And maybe it is another thing that accounts for bleaching creams. Because people already tend... Yes.
Like if I'm fair, people will notice I'll get their attention.
Yes, people will notice me a lot more.
It doesn't matter if they like me or not, but
at least I'm going to get the notice. Yeah.
I think even people who are naturally fair are even suffering right now because we can easily just generalize that. Whoa, all of you are bleaching. Yeah, all bleach. If you are fair, you are bleach. It's just the way we can generalize and say every Igbo man is greedy, every Yoruba person is dirty. Every Hausa person is gullible. We can just say every fair lady, every fair guy.
True. I agree. Anyway, yeah, we've come to the end of that. Before we leave, I know that I had put out something on my Instagram and on my WhatsApp. I'm not sure if I put it on my TikTok. On Wednesday or Tuesday last week, where I was saying, I called the person's name in affiliation to a company who had, in his carelessness, yes, I'll say that, put out my name and the name of my podcast in why he was trying to, I don't want to use the word cajole, but for lack of better grammar, cajole people into subscribing to what he was offering them, like a business, whatever. He had put my name in that, and I had put out that statement stating that I was not in any way aware. I had no conversation with this person. The only reason why I am, and a few of you reached out, actually.
No, I think I saw that as well.
Yeah, a couple of persons, not one, more than 10 people reached out, both on WhatsApp and on Instagram. And 2 very awesome podcasters. Please go and listen to Equity and something on Spotify. I'm sorry, but just type Equity. Her podcast will come up. Please go and listen to her stuff. Amazing work she's doing. she said that, oh no, that's not nice. So I'm coming out today to tell you guys again, if you hear my name or Rave Mara podcast in affiliations with any job or anything, please, if you don't hear it on this podcast, know that I don't know what that is, right? And again, I'm not going to be discussing the entire thing because he apologized and said that he
apologized.
Yes, he said it was an omission.
I'm sorry, we're going to discuss this. He what now? He apologized?
Yes, he did.
I'm sorry?
Yeah. That although he should have reached out, he just felt that he was going to do that because he had lost his phone. That was why he didn't reach out. The thing just sounded really weird.
Can we talk about it? I'm not trying to incite. Okay, let me advise.
Okay.
Hello, business owners, young entrepreneurs. I do this a few times. I just make a few content about it. If you're going to start a business, do it the right way.
Right.
Just put in your best. It's important that you do. If you're going to pack a group of adults into a WhatsApp group,
emphasis on adults,
the least you can do is DM them individually and seek their consent before putting them. Let them know that, hey, I'm going to create a group. It's about XYZ, ABC. Mm-hmm. Would you be interested? Mm-hmm. Or even if you're not interested, can you just join the group and see if it's something that piques your interest?
Right.
Than for someone to wake up one morning and see they've been added to a group of over
100 people. Yeah, I'm going to say that. Over 100 people.
And you just know only the main person who added you. And you scroll up, okay, let me see what this group is about. The first thing you see is, if you leave this group, I'm going to block you.
Oh, wow.
Yes. The first thing you see is, if you leave this group, I'm going to block you. Then you're now looking through the group, and then you're seeing that everybody who is asking questions is being
attacked in a way. Yeah.
Levels of profanities and insults, even to the point that someone was threatening someone.
Yeah, I got a text.
So me hearing that this same person who's been doing ABC XYZ to every other person apologized, I'm like, apologize.
He did because he said that when I put that statement again, I was not on the group. So when somebody else, 3 people first reached out, like, hey, Mara, I am on this group and I just heard your name in a voice note he had sent that he was going to be on your podcast to discuss his business or his company. And this company, I'm sorry, the company already sounds like something. It sounds like something. I don't want to use the word scam or fraudulent because I do not have enough information.
I think that was the point. I think that
I do not have enough information. But if you're going to do something, you have a company or you're working with a company and people are asking you questions to get information about the job, at least be kind enough to answer them. They are not trying to take your job away from you or take your business away from you. But what got me angry was, I'm not on this group. You didn't reach out to me. And you went on and told people that, I'm going to be on this podcast talking about my job and my experiences. And, wait, we never discussed this.
And this was after insulting a couple of people.
Yes. After he had taken an entire day to insult everybody else. And so I decided not to reach out to him. And so he reached out to me and sent a voice note. And he was saying, I know that I should have. And I'm sorry I didn't do that. I am supposed to, if you know what you're supposed to do, you should have done that.
Yeah.
And, so for that sake, that's why I'm not calling out his name again or the name of his business because he already apologized.
Right.
Yep.
I'm shocked. But it's great that he apologized. At least maybe people who've spoken to him like, hey, man, there's a better way to go. But generally, guys, if you're going to do something, let people know. Especially if you know it's a platform where you're bringing people that can easily support you. Don't make them your enemies.
Right.
We're all growing, really. We're all trying to grow.
All right. Anyway, thank you, guys. And thank you, dear guests. Did you have fun?
Hey, it's so sweet, though. Let's do part 2. This was nice. Thanks for having me.
All right. Thank you for coming. Thank you, guys, for tuning in. Again, please, if you're not following
on Instagram,
subscribed
on YouTube.
Yes, that's. And also follow on, what's that? Spotify. Yes, please. Thank you so much. Please share. Please, we are begging you people, share. And please, don't forget to go to his Instagram, Voice of Hales. Yes, thank you guys. And see you next week. Bye-bye.
All right, this was fun.